So if you guys have been following this channel for any length of time, I'm sure that some of you are very much aware of the posters that I have in the background here, particularly the Venom poster. And I'm sure that some of you pretty much assume by that I have seen Venom, or I'm at least a fan of Venom. And yeah, I am. I really like the movies, and I even really like the character himself. I've always pretty much been a fan of the character Venom himself ever since Spider-Man 3. And, I remember even way back in the late 2000s, it was either the late 2000s or the early 2010s, that there was a rumor that there was supposed to be a Venom movie in the works. But of course, we didn't get that till 2018. So when I heard that Venom was coming out in 2018, I'm not going to lie, I was pretty excited and very intrigued by it. And I was definitely curious to see what they would do, because obviously the last time we've seen the symbiote or anything that has to do with Venom was Spider-Man 3. So after Spider-Man 3, I was definitely curious to see how they would handle a Venom movie. Now obviously this is basically an origin story. It doesn't have Topher Grace as Venom from Spider-Man 3 or anything. This movie features Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, and I think he does a good job at Eddie Brock. I'd say he's definitely better than Topher Grace. Now, no disrespect to Topher Grace, of course. I think he's done a decent job as Eddie Brock, but I think most people can agree that Tom Hardy is a better Venom. But yeah, this is an origin story about how basically Tom Hardy gets the symbiote, or, how all that works out. Of course, if you've seen the movie, you know that the movie starts off with, this space shuttle or whatever crashing down to Earth. And it contains the Riot symbiote that's in this space shuttle or whatever that's being investigated. And one thing that's actually pretty interesting, because I also own Venom on DVD, I noticed that the symbiote, the Riot symbiote, actually travels. That's something that I really didn't catch on with at first when I first saw it in the theater, but whenever I watched it again on DVD, I noticed oh, this thing was traveling across the world to get to the main villain of this story. Now, do I think Riot is a suitable villain for this film? Yes, I'm not mind blown by him, of course, but I think he's a suitable villain for this film, and a good, first villain of the Venom trilogy. We don't, of course, hear from Carnage until the second one, or at least the post-credit scene of this film. With that being said, when I also heard that there was supposed to be a Venom movie coming out, I thought that Carnage, I should say, was supposed to be the villain of the Venom film. And I think everyone kind of assumed that. Everyone kind of assumed that, because you would think that Carnage would be the villain of this movie, but obviously he didn't appear till the second one. But we'll talk about that in a later review, of course. But yeah, Eddie Brock in this movie, he goes and investigates in this lab or something where they keep these people, and he comes across his homeless friend or something who gives him the symbiote, and that's basically how he gets it. And he gets these powers, and he's oh, this is so weird. He's so amazed by what he can do and everything when he escapes that building or whatever. I thought that whole sequence was pretty cool and everything. Yeah, there's a lot of fun moments to this film, like the motorcycle chase scene and all that. I thought that was pretty cool. Definitely one of the highlights of this movie, in my personal opinion. I believe this was also one of the last movies to feature Stan Lee. May he rest in peace, of course. It might have even been the last Marvel film with Stan Lee. I'm not sure, but I know it was one of the last ones. But yeah, it's a great movie, I think. Definitely underrated. Definitely not as bad as many people say it is, I think. So yeah, if I were to give this movie a score, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's really good. Maybe even an 8.5, but I'm not sure. Somewhere around that score. So let me know what you guys think of the Venom movie. Did you guys like it? Feel free to let me know. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Take care.